going back to advertising, there's a lot of manipulation done, and they do it through psychology. Like they look at a girl's weak point, and they do it to men too. Like we're both victims of this. And what they've done is they've glorified unhealthy habits, and they've termed it as self-care or accepting yourself. So if you're a larger girl, you can eat what you want because you can love yourself in your skin, or you can wear what you want because you love yourself in your skin. And they've completely neglected the aspect of ownership, right? Like taking someone out of victim role. Like if you're a victim and you feel like you're not the person you want to be, you're just telling them, embrace who you are.
Mm.
Like that's different than saying, no, like be who you are, like know your values, know who you are and be authentic. Embrace who you are no matter what, no matter how obese. Like
Yeah.
that's absolutely absurd. Then you're telling somebody that if they have a drug problem, or if they have a their interpersonal skills aren't good, or their intrapersonal skills aren't good, they don't treat people well, or they have a eating disorder, embrace yourself. And we're saying this indirectly, like with the advertisements, with the commercials, with the celebrities that we get on board for certain campaigns. They know there's a psychology game behind all of this. And maybe because I majored in psychology, I know it, or maybe because of my genetics, I have a higher conscientiousness than most people, but it's so easy to see through.
Yeah.
And I think I want, like, a lot of what I do online is to make people aware. Number one, awareness is a big part of my programming. You have to be aware of yourself in the outer world, making people aware that not everybody that goes online and cries and says like, this is my story and this and that really cares about your well-being. There's a manipulation happening already on social media. So from the creator point of view, from the huge corporations, and then also from the people running this app, like Silicon Valley, Facebook, Instagram, they don't care about your well-being at all. Like if they did, they would take out the manipulative engine behind Instagram, and they would just make Instagram a subscription based where companies can pay and people can pay. Like YouTube, I think, is a much better option than Instagram because when you go on the page, like if you look at any landing page, ton of videos. Like if you're bored for 1 second, they're going to pull you right into another video.
Yeah.
But at least it's not bite-sized content. At least there isn't an algorithm as toxic as Instagram. Like it's not going to take you through a 500 series of depressing videos if you liked one depressing quote, right? There's been a lot of lawsuits about kids killing themselves, and parents are still fighting Meta, still fighting Facebook. Oh, that's the same thing. But they don't want to take responsibility. And that's also an area I've been studying a lot. It's like, wow, when you really understand their intentions, you start to question, why am I on this app as much as I am? Because it's not that you're stupid, right? Like you're not stupid. We all think we have control over our attention. However, if I told you that the same attention engineers that are used in the Las Vegas casinos are engineering these apps, and the same the billion-dollar psychologists are engineering these apps to keep your attention, how would you approach your phone?
Yeah, then you wouldn't go on it.
Or you would try to learn how to use it as a tool, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to scare people like the news does and say like, don't. But be more conscious.
Yeah. Be more selective of who you follow.
Yeah, definitely.
If you notice your feed is getting a little bit messed up, then at least now you can reset it.
Yeah.
Apparently, which is good. But it's still, I find it.
What do you mean by reset it?
You can completely reset your feed and your algorithm.
How do you do that?
You go on to, I have not personally done it because my feed is actually okay. Well, I enjoy it.
I think you should show us your feed.
Don't look at my feed. There's a way of doing it on the settings where you can just reset everything, then it goes back to like as if you have just gone to the app for the very first time. But then very quickly, obviously, it will start to adjust based on what you're interested in, what you're spending time on. And the weirdest thing is as well, like my friends are sending me some weird stuff sometimes, also pretty fucked up stuff. I'm also like guilty of sending them some fucked up stuff. But like if the program, the algorithm is noticing that you're spending time or engaging with that type of content, it'll just show you more of it.
I'm willing to even say that if you have a top 3 send list on Instagram, your feeds are all going to look very similar.
Yeah.
If you have a top 3, like you guys are, when you go to send, these are the top 3 people you communicate with on Instagram and you're sending reels to, I can bet 9 out of 10, you guys have a very similar feed because they've categorized you into that audience.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what the manipulative engine does, right? All of this data that we give Google, all of these shopping stores, everything, who's buying that data? Brands that advertise.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It gets really complicated when you want to say who's the bad guy and who's not. But I think the main message here is your data is being sold. You're being thrown into an audience. And especially for women, this is problematic because if you feel a certain way at a certain time, you can get stuck in that feeling because your algorithm can be so fixated on that type of,
Yeah.
and it's horrible. Like if, oh my God, it's not even get into like vanity and, surgeries and bodies. Like you could get sucked into that algorithm. So use social media as a tool.
It's so funny. I remember I went through a breakup and then I started, for whatever reason, paying more attention to these reels that were talking about relationships. And a lot of it wasn't very constructive reels. It was actually promoting like more of a toxic approach to relationships as a whole. And then I remember after that period of time, like my feed was just full of all that kind of stuff. But luckily, like I'm older and I know what to maybe take interest and make note of or what to just discard.
Yeah.
The problem is young people they don't have that filter. So that whatever is being sent to them, they're kind of absorbing it and they're just approaching relationships with this extremely toxic way of doing it.
Absolutely. And I think what's important is to mention is that we're always going to, like, we have a bias, right? We have the implicit bias and the explicit bias.